Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope you are doing well. This week's Parsha is Vayetzei. We are picking back up with the story of Yaakov after he flees Beersheba and goes to Haran. Why is Yaakov fleeing? He's fleeing because he stole the firstborn blessing from his brother Esav. So Yitzchak marries Rivka. They have two children, twins named Yaakov and Esav. Esav is the older. Yaakov is the younger. Esav grows up and is very manly. He's out in the field. He's out in the fields working and hunting animals. And Yaakov stays inside in the tents of learning. Rivka loves Yaakov, and Yitzchak loves Esav. And when it comes time for Yitzchak to die and pass on the bracha, the blessing, to his oldest child, Rivka helps Yaakov to deceive Yitzchak and gets the blessing for himself instead. And Esau is very angry. He wants to kill Yaakov, so Yaakov flees. He leaves Beersheba and goes to Haran, which is where Rivka's family lives. As he gets there, as he sleeps the night before he arrives in Haran, he sleeps and has the famous Jacob's ladder dream. He dreams of angels going up and down the ladder to heaven, back down to earth. That's a lovely story. On to the next. Yaakov arrives in Haran and he sees women trying to get into the well. And one of those women is Rachel, his beloved. He meets Rachel and falls immediately in love with her. He realizes that she's related to the people that he's trying to come and meet with. So it works out perfectly. He goes to Laban and he says, Laban, I love your daughter, Rachel. I would love to marry her. And Laban says, great, sure. On their wedding night, however, Laban switches Rachel for her older sister, Leah, because in the way of Laban's family, the oldest should be married first. And so Jacob is deceived. He wakes up in the morning and realizes, oh my gosh, I did not marry Rachel, the one that I love. I married Leah, her sister. And of course, we know lots of Leahs that are lovely, lots and lots of Leahs that are lovely. But in this case, Yaakov loves Rachel and wanted to marry Rachel. So Laban says, you can work for me. He already agreed to work 7 years to marry Rachel. And now he's going to work another 7 years because he's married to Leah and wants to be able to marry Rachel as well. And Jacob is very upset. He feels very deceived. He's like, how can you have done this? How can you deceive me like this? And Laban says, it is not like us in our ways to send the younger before the older. Which that makes sense. That's something that we've heard. Like, that makes sense that the older would want to be married first. But our commentators tell us to notice that phrasing. What did Jacob just do? Jacob went as the younger before the older, getting the bracha, the blessing from his father Yitzchak. He deceived his father Yitzchak and really upset his brother Esav, and did what Laban is confirming. You may do those things in your family, but here we don't do that. And so perhaps Laban is kind of pointing out that Jacob isn't just, this lovely, nice guy like we all think he is. So that's this week's Parsha. And of course, it's meant to be that Jacob marries both Rachel and Leah, because from both Rachel and Leah come all the children of all the tribes. Shivtei Yisrael, Reuben, Levi, Simeon, Naphtali, Issachar, Asher, Dan, Zebulun, Gad, Benjamin, Yosef, and of course Yosef is born in this week's parsha. And as we know, in the parshiot to come, there is more deception happening for this guy Yaakov. So even though we are named for him, the famous situation where he wrestles with an angel and gets a new name, Yisrael. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later, but Yaakov is the person that he's like the patron person of the Jewish people. So why is it that this deceiver gets to be the head of the Jewish people? And perhaps it's because we learned that people can change, people can grow. His name, Yaakov, Akev, the word Yaakov can kind of be associated with the word for crooked, but his next name, the name that he gets, Yisrael, can also be, if it's taken in parts, to be Yashar Kel, like straight with God. So he goes from being crooked to being straight with God, so that we can always see that there's potential to change and grow. I love seeing these overarching patterns in the Torah. Shabbat Shalom. Hope you have a great week, and God willing, I'll see you next week.